This is all, so seeing is believing. We're seeing this and we know what it means. We have to be patient with the people that's seeing this stuff and they don't know what it means. They don't know what it means because ain't nobody told them. You can't tell them just once. But I believe the people are getting back to the time, like in the mind, like during Malcolm's time, if you came to town and gave one declaratory speech, you could get the people riled up and ready to go. One speech. You can talk now, your mouth slop coming all over your mouth and they ain't moving. It's looking at you like you stupid. Right? You can talk to your mouth turn white, like we say. But the time is coming where people, things are changing. Unconscious compliance. Okay. Seeing is not believing. See it. Yet there is no strategic comparison. Okay, we are SBQ, As-Sabiqun. I had a few more things. I'll go quickly and I'll finish with As-Sabiqun. Let us examine who's manipulating who. Just quickly. Who is manipulating who? Are they manipulating us or are we manipulating them? Well, easy to answer. Battle of predictability. Predictability, it's already clear. Mid-21st century tactics. That's 2050 for now. Projecting your own head, cerebral manipulation. The white man hit us in the head, I don't know what he put up there. Don't make no difference. Why? Because you can rise to the occasion no matter what. He can have stuff ticking in your head all day long, right? And in your head, you can whoop him, you can beat him. And guess what? This cerebral manipulation is already going on. We have no apprehension about nothing, including cerebral manipulation on his part to us. Buddy, and if they do, we're going to lay on them for a week, a month, a year, and we're going to catch up with them. It's like everything else they do, right? Remember, we have to set the stage for the big future. Remember, we're talking about 21st century tactics. 2050. Now. That means we got a lot of jumping to do. Okay, what is unconscious compliance? Unconscious compliance, I already mentioned it. Perceived racial superiority prevents system from conscious compliance. Their racial superiority feeling prevents them from consciously complying with us, although we're right, may I say, all the time, or damn near all the time, right? That's just something we're talking about here. Those of us who are right here in this masjid right now knows that what we're saying is basically true. And if we are misspeaking, it's only 2% or 3% out of 100. Right? So that means nothing is still A minus. Right? You know, no matter what it is, perceived racial superiority. In everything, the system is racially biased. The people are not racially biased that much now. The people, even in my house, the kids listen to all kind of stuff. Their heroes, half of it, 40% of it is black, some of it is Latino, some of it is, and they listen to all kind of music. Everything. Right? They listen to that, and that's fine. We used to listen to black music. And we would listen to white music by force if we was in some jail way out in the country, where, you know, in those days, the black stations was in the city. You was lucky, and you could hear it only so far. But if you was in jail, you was way out in the woods. You couldn't hear nothing but peck of wood hissing. You know, that's why we know all the stuff about them. Every song, because we was there, they had us say, you couldn't hear nothing else. They wouldn't. Perceived racial superiority prevents systems from conscious compliance, from surrender to the Negro with nothing in his hand. It's self-prevention. We don't have nothing that they can see, right? But this talk and chatter and this being right all the time, who cares about that? You don't have anything to make us comply. So we're not going to comply. But there's an unconscious compliance mixed with it. That they know in their heart we're losing it. Other people say they done lost it. What's the name's book say they done already lost, right? Everybody says that. This game is over for you, boss man. It's too bad. Sorry. You did a lot of, and these is from Uncle Tom Asians, you know what I mean? That we loved you, boss man, and you just, we wish you would do right and fix yourself up. We're for you. But you won't even put our book in the thing. You won't review it. You won't, hey man, we for you. Right? So, okay, let me just move forward. Acting out of his historical zone. He's out of his comfort zone. Big baby, birth of new phase. He's a big baby, but he don't want this rebirth. You got to be reborn again. He's thinking, I can't be reborn again because I can't go back in my mother's womb. This is doggone near Nicodemus type. Guide with understanding and compassion. We ask Allah's guidance in this effort. This is going to take skill because you're working with a system that's gone crazy and a lot of people still running it. It's going crazy with their system. We have to reach in there and appeal to as many good people as we can. That's why we're appealing to the good side of human nature and not the bad side. And if we ever get into any position, we're going to still be on the good side. We ain't going to use nothing to do nothing to nobody because we don't want to. System regress back to childhood with this historical memory and power and ability to act. He has regressed. You have to admit that in all the news. But he still has, he's regressed back into a childhood because he don't have the enthusiasm and he has this historical memory and still has power. He still has power to do stuff. Right? He's out of his comfort zone. We ask a lot to help us because this stuff is so delicate that it takes a super psych to unravel all of this and make something out of it, right? And technically, I'm not saying it's beyond our ability, but you see what we put, we ask Allah's guidance in this, of course, and everything else too. But it's going to take special skill to deal with all of this. Okay. Nonviolence resistance, training for liberation. Nonviolent resistance is training for liberation. Independence, that you're independent from the government and you can handle your own business. This is good. Okay, that's too much for us to go into, so we'll leave it at that. Are there any questions, any comments? No. Any questions?
Nothing came in.
Huh?
No, there were no comments that came in.
Okay. Do y'all have any questions or comments about anything? And I'd like to does this, what I just said over the last couple hours, make any sense? I'm asking. Does it make any sense?
Yeah.
Well, it definitely does to us because we're seeing it happen.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, as far as the people listening, you know, and that's kind of what I was leading to with a question that I asked before. I mean, certain things you say, you know what to look for. Or when you see it,
Right.
you know, you say, oh, well, we've already talked, or you've already explained that.
Right.
So you know what you're looking at. But if people,
Would you turn the air conditioner on? Yeah.
but if you haven't seen the progression of things,
Right.
then it, you know, it either takes them going back,
Right.
or they can be saying, man, what is going on?
Okay.
You know.
Well, see, that's the value of, believe it or not, y'all being around as two witnesses is a big deal for me personally. You know why? Think how it's been feeling all these years that I'm seeing all of this on my own. I ain't got nobody to talk to about it. You know what I mean? I have to double check everything myself, triple check it, quadruple check it. I have to wait for years and years, like all this stuff. You can see I done wrote all that stuff is actually old, a lot of it. But that's where delay and longevity and, you know, knowing that this is a protracted struggle. And then it makes it easy. That's what's made it real, real easy, is knowing that this is a protracted, let me see. Disposal must be unconscious competent. Okay, is it all right if I go with just a little bit more of this? Okay, and then we can pray in a minute. Because I'm sure it's prayer time by 9. It may be way up in the
Not really.
Huh?
Not really.
Okay, all right, good, good. Unconscious, there's a conscious competent and an unconscious competent. Unconscious competent is a person that does everything right, but he couldn't give a lecture on it. And he probably wouldn't be able to explain it that well. He might be fumbling around trying to explain it. He does everything correct. What he sees, what he hears, he analyzes it, he puts it together, generally correct. He's an unconscious competent. He's competent, but he's unconscious of the process. You know what I mean? He's not sleepwalking. He knows what he has a daily plan to do. But he's not sleep, you know what I mean? But he's unconscious of the reality of how deep what he's doing. Now, a conscious competent is one who's competent, but he's conscious of the process. Now, the farther we go back into teenageism and then getting grown and doing stuff, when I did East Oakland Enterprise, I did it, and I did it pretty good. But I didn't realize exactly what I was doing and why I was doing it 2 years later, right? I did it because I was the only one that didn't go to work, and I wanted my friends not to have to go to work so I could have fun. So I could have fun with my friends. And if they didn't have a job and got a lot of money, we could all have a good time. Otherwise, I can only see them on the weekend. That's actually why I did it at first. That's the reason. When I would be driving down the street just extra lonely, the Four Tops, I was all that money and I'm in heaven by myself. I'm lonely. That's what I actually was. Basically, I mean, just think that you got all of this money, like a little rich kid, little Richie Rich. He's got all of that money, right? And he got all the cars, everything everybody used to dream about. I already got it. I didn't have it last year, now I got it this year. And as far as the time goes, every time the year doubles up, I'm getting more and more. And I'm by myself. So I said, I just make sure everybody gets money. And guess what? I wasn't lonesome anymore. Because everybody gets money, we ride. I get in their car, they get in mine, we ride to the club, we right? It worked. The East Oakland Enterprises, the economic enterprise zone in America, the only one that existed was because I was lonely. I didn't know that. I was unconscious. I was competent. I was doing everything exactly right. Think about it. But I was unconscious. I knew how I felt, but I was unconscious of the process. You know what I'm saying? That's deep. That's the first time I ever told anybody that. I was unconscious. I told everybody I didn't want to be in heaven by myself. But I didn't tell everybody when I listened to the Four Tops, just ask the lonely, it's me. It's me. I'm lonely. I mean, not lonely like depressed lonely. You know, not that type of stupidity lonely, you know what I mean? But hey, man, a year ago we was all having fun together, lifting weights and talking our trash and stuff, and now, and everybody looking at me like I'm different. You know, they're uncomfortable. My friends are uncomfortable around me because I'm rich. And they're not rich. And I say, hey, man, I want to say, hey, man, we just still friends. Y'all want to go eat? And I take them out. And I have to buy them the food because they don't have no money to buy all that. Or you go somewhere to eat and it's 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I remember I took one of my friends and he said the same thing. Took one friend across the street and said, do you do this all the time? He had a job. He had to go to work at 7 o'clock and some kind of way he was out. Yeah, I do it all the time. That's what I do. You know, and then I started realizing, hey man, I'm the only one in heaven. We used to talk like that because I had girlfriends from LA. They was friends, not sexual partners. I say, y'all want to come up to paradise? That's what I called Oakland those days. They say, yeah, we come up there. I take them up, take them to all the nightclubs. They can get on the plane, go back home. It only cost $11 in those days. Yeah, good God Almighty. I'm trying to say is, that's unconscious competency. Now it's different. We might be what you might call a conscious competent. Because we've had time to study life, motivation, and people appreciate it. You know, people is against us when I do something for Iran. I always say right away, you people are doing such and such and such. You ever notice that? And the guy that's recording me, he mentions that all the time. But maybe he may not even want to have it on there. Because I asked him, how's everybody doing there? He's going to say something a little different. He's not tuned in where they're really at, about what they're really doing. He's hearing their complaints and all of that. He may be a little depressed himself. But I'm looking at it like the Iranian students who was here from Iran. My job was to motivate them. That was my job, to motivate them. Imagine motivating students there in a country and everybody hate them. And when they're carrying pictures of Imam Khomeini, everybody hates that face. They hate it, right? And imagine, for years I have to motivate them, make them feel good, and get on out and have a good time, and have a demonstration and all of that, right? So that's part of the training of pretty soon. You motivating people, and that's the thing that I told the brother the other day, I say, hey man, just get me on back over there and I'll help fix everything for y'all. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But technically, they may not want me to come and fix it. They may want it to stay the same. But it don't make no difference. We still learn. Conscious competence. Today, try to make sense of historical present. Okay, historical habit reversion. The system, habit reversion is when they don't know what to do correctly, they revert to habit. And of course, you know what that means. Bad news for everybody. So it's habit reversion. America the good. We always say America the good. We've always said it, and that's what we mean. Last thing I'd like to mention, 1971, you know, Pete O'Neill took over the party in 1972, but he was head of security when I got there. He told me something that I didn't forget. He said, all of us here, he said, when they had a pledge of allegiance to the flag, we all stood up. All those radical Negroes. And I thought about it. I said, hell, me too. And the reason we were over there because America didn't fulfill what it was telling us that it, you know what I mean? And we was upset because, oh, you're not like what you said you were. And it meant something to us. Right. That's what he told me. He said all of us stood up for the pledge of allegiance to the flag. All of them. Setaway, Michael Tabor and them, Connie and them, Masters and them. All of them. I don't think Eldridge did. Well, Eldridge, he's dead, but he was a bum. Eldridge is a bum, ain't no sense of lying about it. And he got a couple of friends that was bums, and I ain't gonna talk about them because they're still alive. Historical Black Panther. Okay, that's all I'll talk about today. That's true though. All of us stood up for the flag. You know, I got one straight A in school. You know what it was? American history. One straight A. That's all. Everything else I just play around. It's important. I'm a straight A student on one subject, American history. Okay, that's what's happening. I mean, you know. And that's why, even right now, America